Hi friends, it's Unicorn, and today I want to do the second part of my Chinese book haul. I posted the first part a month ago, which includes all the fictional books that I got in the parcel, and today I want to do the second part, which is all the nonfiction books that I got within the same parcel. As I was putting this book haul together, I realized although it is a Chinese book haul, but it's actually a Bookish Chinese book haul because within the 6 books that I'm gonna talk about today, only 2 are written by Chinese writers. The rest 4 of them are all translated from Japanese to Chinese. I found that's very interesting because one, that shows that Japan and China shares a lot of common societal topics which are widely discussed in nonfiction books and shared within the region of East Asia. And the second one is the reason why I got those books translated into Chinese rather than English is because they are not translated into English, so I couldn't get a copy, English version of them. It just shows you there are way more Japanese books translated into Chinese rather than English. With that being said, I do hope that one day I can read Japanese books in Japanese. I'm far from there yet, but one can dream. Now, without further ado, let's dive into the book haul. First of all, the 2 books by Chinese writers. The first one is 浮出历史地表 by Meng Yue and Dai Jinhua. The English translation of the title is Emerging from the Historical Surface. This is a book that is actually recommended to me by one of my commenters called Zoe, and thank you so much, Zoe. And this is an essay collection that examines the history of modern Chinese women's literature. It covers the time from the early 20th century to the 1940s, which is a profound transformation period where China transformed from an ancient civilization to a modern nation. The book offers in-depth interpretation of 9 significant modern women writers in China and also provide us the formation and development of women in literature. This book was first published in 1989 and since became a landmark work of the Chinese feminism critiques. And I also think one of the authors, Dai Jinhua, has a series of lectures where she did with this book correspondingly, so I'm really happy and excited to dive into this book and also the series of lectures. The second book is called 漫长的余生 by Luo Xin. The title translates to The Everlasting, the Rest of the Life. This is a historical nonfiction talking about a woman called Wang Zhongar who was born during the time period called Nanbei Chao, Northern and Southern Dynasty, which is a quite short time with like very turbulent power structures in between that was around the year 400. Wang Zhongar was born into a middle-ranking bureaucratic family in Southern Dynasty at the time, and she was quickly drawn into chaos because her family fell apart during the power switching. And 2 years after her family was destroyed, she was brought into the Pingcheng Gong, the Pingcheng Palace, to become a common palace maid. However, her fate unexpectedly intertwined with a political system at that time where if a man went into power, his mother is going to be executed, because this is to prevent the relatives of the mother's side of the powerful man came into influence the policy that the man made. But as you can imagine, this is a very easily corrupted system and was used a lot during the power play. So Wang Zhongar herself became a key figure in the history because she was in charge of raising 2 generations of emperors because the emperor's mother were executed. And she raised the first emperor as the common palace maid, and the second one she raised as a Buddhism nun, and she ended up living in the northern palace, the palace of the Northern Wei dynasty, for another 56 years after her family was destroyed and after she thought her life was over. The author Luo Xin did a lot of research to recreate Wang Zhongar's life during the turbulent time with minimum information because women were not documented that much historically, and he was also trying to look at individuals through the eye of Wang Zhongar, see their joy, their fear, their all sorts of emotions when it comes to power play. I like how this book tried to shed light on the often overlooked role of women's life in Chinese history, and it also tries to emphasize that history is never complete without the role of women. Now let's talk about the 4 books that I got that are translated from Japanese to Chinese. The first one is called 足利女童连续失踪事件 by Shimitzu Kiyoshi. The Japanese title is called Jinhua wa Soko ni Iru, and I just realized the Japanese title on the cover was incomplete. Anyhow, the title of this book in Japanese translates to The Murderer is Right There. However, the Chinese title is a little bit more straightforward. It means the serial missing cases of the schoolgirls in Ashikaga. Shimitzu Kiyoshi is a Japanese journalist who often investigates on the complicated and puzzling cases that are usually targeting young women or children. And I've read a couple of his books before, and this is another one of those cases. Between 1979 and the span of just a little bit over 10 years, there are 4 schoolgirls missing in the area near a town called Ashikaga. However, the 4 cases fall into 2 different police stations that belongs to 2 different cities. And because they belong to 2 different places, so the police actually failed to make connections among the 4 cases. And in 1991, the police in Ashikaga actually declared that they have caught the perpetrator and closed the cases. However, in 1997, a 5th girl went missing, and Shimitzu Kiyoshi started to make connections among all of those 5 cases and started his own investigation. And because he started this investigation, he actually prompted the police to reopen the cases and investigate with more advanced technology. Shimitzu is not the best writer in the investigation nonfiction genre. However, I do like the cases that he's on, and I liked how he's not afraid to call out the police when they literally was doing nothing. So I'm really looking forward to read this true crime case. Next, I have this one, 父权制与资本主义 by Ueno Chizuko, translated by Zou Yun and Xue Mei. This translates to Patriarchy and Capitalism. The original Japanese title has the same meaning. As the title suggested, this book is about patriarchy and capitalism. This is also a re-exam of feminism during the end of the second wave of feminism and tackled on different varieties of feminism, in particularly the Marxism, feminism, and by exploring the intersection of patriarchy and capitalism. The book also especially discussing the challenges that women are facing under such a structure. It provides thought-provoking discussions about the power dynamics, gender, and social structures. This book is very popular in China ever since it has been translated, and again, it shows you how Chinese society and the Japanese society share some common phenomena. It also says that studying Japan provides helpful and insightful information of understanding the future of China. So I have always wanted to read this book, and I'm so happy that I got this. The next book is also partially written by Ueno Chizuko. It's called 始于极限, translates to Start from the Limits, and it's actually the subtitle of the Japanese title, which is very interesting. Japanese title is called Ofuku Shuken, which means male correspondence. This is translated into Chinese by Cao Yibing. This is a collection of letter correspondence between Ueno and another writer called Suzuki Suzumi. Ueno is a distinguished scholar who has written numerous books, including the book that I mentioned the last, and Suzuki Suzumi is another popular young writer who has also had experiences in the adult industry in Japan. They are 35 years old apart, but both has profound understanding and practice in the field of feminism, and their unique background sparks the most intriguing and thought-provoking conversations which are included in this book. This is one of the most popular books in China last year, and I had eye on it ever since I know that, and I'm really excited to dive in. The final addition to this book haul is called 必经记 by Itou Hiromi. This translates to Menopause Chronicles, and it's translated from Japanese to Chinese by Lei Ke. Japanese title is called Haikeki, which means the same thing. This is an essay collection of Itou where she explores and talks about her experience during menopause and talking about not only the changes in her body, but the impact it has on variety aspects of her life. Itou's intention of this book goes beyond only talking about menopause. She said this book is aimed to reach all women who navigate the complexity of the identity which society imposed on them. Menstruation is never a widely discussed topic in Asia, at least not for now, not to mention menopause, so I admire the bravery of Itou, and I'm also very interested in reading this book and learn more about it. And that's all the nonfiction books that I have in this video. Although all of them are not translated into English yet, I do hope you find this video interesting. And please let me know in the comment section down below which one do you want to read. Maybe do you want them to have an English translation in the future? And don't forget to say hi, thumbs up to this video if you liked it. I wish you happy reading, stay healthy, stay safe. I'll see you in my next bookish video. Bye!